There's a certain silence that only exists in luxury hotels, a stillness polished by marble floors, crystal chandeliers, and the quiet shuffle of money being spent. That morning, Jordan Hayes walked into the Grand Marquette Hotel carrying nothing more than a leather duffel bag, a laptop, and a heart still beating from the rush of dreams becoming real. He wasn't just checking in, he was checking off a milestone. The suite at the top of the building wasn't for leisure, it was for his company's biggest partnership meeting yet. After years of rejection, doubt, and quiet perseverance, his small tech startup had finally secured a seat at the table with a global firm. The kind of success that changes your life, and silences every "you don't belong here" you've ever heard. But as the elevator doors closed behind him and the lobby scent of jasmine and wealth filled his lungs, Jordan had no idea that before the day was over, that same silence would cut sharper than ever before. Because some people, even when faced with success, still only see what they want to see. The Grand Marquette was a temple to status, where bellhops memorized last names and concierges could spot regulars from a glance. Jordan approached the front desk, polite, professional, confident. He'd worn his best, a tailored navy suit, crisp white shirt, and the subtle quiet of someone who'd earned his place. But even before he reached the counter, he noticed it. The pause. The look that flickered across the concierge's face, confusion wrapped in condescension. "Good afternoon," he said, smiling. "Checking in. Jordan Hayes." The executive suite under Hayes Innovations. The man behind the counter didn't type right away. His eyes trailed over Jordan's face, then down to the duffel bag, then back up. The silence lingered too long. Behind him, a couple in designer clothes laughed softly as they were handed their keys without question. Jordan's smile didn't falter, but his stomach tightened. He'd seen this movie before, too many times. The way disbelief often preceded dignity in certain rooms. The concierge finally typed. Slowly. Reluctantly. A woman joined him, whispering something over his shoulder. Then another staff member walked out from the office, glancing at Jordan before pretending not to. Jordan exhaled quietly. Here we go again, he thought. "Sir," the concierge finally said, his tone sharpened by suspicion. "Are you sure you have a reservation with us?" Jordan felt the weight of eyes around him, the subtle shift in the room as guests paused to listen. He nodded. "Yes, booked last month. The executive suite, 3 nights. I can show you the confirmation email." He slid his phone across the counter, the screen glowing with proof. But instead of looking, the concierge waved it off. "We've had some issues with fraudulent bookings," the man said. "Company cards, unauthorized use. You understand, right?" Jordan froze, that word again. Understand. The word they always used when they were about to disrespect you, but wanted you to stay polite while they did it. He could feel the heat rising in his face as the second manager arrived, a middle-aged woman with a brittle smile. "Sir, this suite is normally reserved for VIPs," she said. "Perhaps you meant the standard room?" There it was. The insult dressed as a question. Behind him, whispers stirred. Someone chuckled softly. Jordan swallowed the anger forming in his chest. He'd built an entire company on controlling his emotions in moments like this, turning humiliation into fuel. But standing there, in a lobby where people were treating him like an intruder, something cracked. He showed them the email again, this time with the company's official signature. Still, they refused to hand him the key. Instead, the manager reached for the phone. "We'll need to verify this with corporate," she said. Corporate. His own company. The very one paying for the suite. As he stood there, heart pounding beneath layers of forced calm, Jordan's assistant texted him. "We're on the way. Board is arriving in 10. Should I tell them to meet upstairs?" Jordan stared at the message, the irony twisting deeper. Upstairs, where he still wasn't allowed to go. He typed back, "Hold off." Small delay. He looked around the lobby again. The same people who'd looked through him before now stared openly. A security guard had appeared near the elevator. Just in case. Jordan straightened his shoulders. "You want to verify it?" he said, voice low and steady. "Go ahead." He stepped aside, giving them space to make their calls. Let them discover in their own time that the man they doubted was the CEO they were expecting to host. As they fumbled, Jordan's phone buzzed again. This time it was his head of operations, Malik, already downstairs. "Hey boss," Malik said as he approached the desk, crisp suit, company badge visible. "You good?" Jordan didn't respond right away. He just nodded toward the staff. "They're verifying something." Malik looked between them, sensing the air. The kind of tension only those who've lived it can read instantly. And that was the moment everything began to shift. Within minutes, the elevator doors opened again, and the rest of Jordan's executive team walked in. 3 women, 2 men, all in suits embroidered subtly with the Hayes Innovations logo. Laptops, portfolios, ID badges. They greeted the doorman, nodded toward Jordan, and began setting up at the lobby cafe, unaware of what was unfolding at the front desk. The staff's expressions changed almost instantly. The manager's voice softened. The concierge's tone grew nervous. The woman who'd called corporate suddenly put the phone down. Her face drained of color. Because on the line wasn't some random company rep, it was Jordan's own assistant, confirming that yes, the CEO was standing right there in their lobby, being treated like a fraud. Silence fell over the counter. Jordan didn't move. He just watched them process it. The slow dawning horror of realizing they'd crossed a line that no apology could neatly fix. The manager stepped forward, stammering. "Mr. Hayes, we didn't realize." But Jordan raised a hand. "Don't," he said quietly. "It's fine." And somehow that calm was heavier than shouting ever could be. Because beneath those words wasn't forgiveness. It was exhaustion, the kind that comes from living the same scene over and over again in different rooms with different faces but the same disbelief. The lobby was silent except for the faint hum of the chandelier lights. Then Malik stepped forward, gently placing a folder on the counter. Inside, the Grand Marquette signed contract for the partnership meeting, the deposit receipt, and an invoice with Hayes Innovations letterhead. "Looks like everything's in order," he said, his tone steady but pointed. The staff glanced at each other, embarrassed, their power dissolving with every second. The manager quickly retrieved the keycard, the one she'd refused to give moments ago, and extended it toward Jordan with both hands. "Your suite is ready, Mr. Hayes," she said softly. He took it. But instead of heading for the elevator, he turned to his team, the people who had worked beside him through years of struggle and startup chaos. "Let's hold the meeting here," he said. And with that, the team began unpacking laptops and folders right there in the lobby. The same space where moments earlier, he wasn't even allowed to stand without suspicion. Cameras clicked. Guests watched. The sight of a black CEO and his executive team transforming humiliation into a moment of triumph filled the air with something electric. Something the marble couldn't silence. What began as a scene of doubt became a quiet revolution in real time. Jordan's voice filled the lobby as he discussed projections, partnerships, and the company's upcoming launch. The same concierge who had questioned him now watched silently, realizing that the man they had disrespected didn't just belong there. He owned the moment completely. By the time the meeting concluded, the sun had begun to set through the glass atrium. The light hit Jordan's face just right, golden, defiant, peaceful. A hotel staff member approached timidly, offering water, napkins, anything to make amends. But Jordan simply smiled. "No worries," he said. "We're good." And in truth he was. Because the real victory wasn't the apology, it was the transformation of the moment itself. He had taken what was meant to belittle him and turned it into proof of presence, proof of leadership, proof of change. Later that night, as he finally walked into the suite, the same one he had been denied hours earlier, Jordan stood at the window looking out over the city lights. Each glow below represented a story, a struggle, a moment like his, unseen but deeply felt. He thought of all the people who'd been turned away, questioned, disbelieved simply for showing up in places where they had earned the right to be. He whispered to himself, "They'll learn, not because we explain but because we keep showing up." The suite was silent again, but this time, it wasn't the silence of exclusion. It was the silence of arrival. And somewhere between the city's hum and the stars' reflection, Jordan Hayes realized, some doors aren't meant to open easily. They're meant to test who has the strength to keep knocking.